So yes, this is my home, just within this little red classic.
And how many swimming pools do you have?
Three.
Three.
Three,
Oh
but
my
one of them
God,
is
what
for the
the-
goats.
The goat. Oh God, the goats.
Yeah, because I couldn't find the field. I saw a handbook and it did talk about a field, but I'm yet to find it. But I found the goats first and needs must.
Yeah.
But at least now they're cornered off in an area because they haven't yet learned how to climb up a vertical ladder.
A vertical. Okay, good.
Yeah.
At least the goats follow the laws of Earth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, whoa! We're taking off. We're taking off. I don't know where she's taking us.
Okay.
But the little wayfinder says that we're heading to the planet. No, this can't be. Surely not.
What?
No, it was lost in the war.
What war?
The war.
What's the war? You
The
keep
war.
saying the war.
The war, Pete.
The war?
The biggest war. You think your tiny little
World
war's
War
on a...
Two?
on-
What do you mean?
No, tiny in comparison to the war. The Time War.
Time War?
Between the Daleks, possibly the Hath and the Time Lords. But we're heading to the planet Gallifrey.
Just shut up, stop talking, cease and desist, there's a good girl. Go, 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 go.
This is where we are picking up our episode in our beautiful series of Never Ever Eat Pears. I am Regan, back with my wonderful co-host Pete, who
Yo.
hates the fact that we are doing this random improv shit.
I think that was better than our first go.
Yeah, I feel like we'll get better at this, and then when we bring in
it'll be fine.
more guests,
Yeah.
we'll slowly build up the lore of this TARDIS.
And
I
next
now
time
have
we'll be
to
like, meh.
3D animate 3 fucking swimming pools,
And a
one
goat.
of which with goats in it. Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm gonna have to take notes on top of my notes.
You are.
So, we're not yet on, but we're not on Gallifrey first of all because we're in the Nevada desert.
We
And
are.
this episode starts off, and may I say, the Doctor be dripping.
The Doctor be dripping.
Oh man, sunglasses,
fucking
guitar
cool.
over the shoulder.
He's got that kind of Tux-esque look
but it's
going
a
on.
wee bit grubby.
Fucking filthy.
He's a travelled man.
He's got like his little satchel as well. Brilliant. He's getting out of a truck as well,
Yeah.
which is even better.
Yeah. I'm more at ease with him driving a truck than I was whatever he was driving in the Zygon inversion.
Oh, see, I don't think he was driving this truck though. He was getting.
Oh,
he
you
got a
think
lift.
it was from our friendly boyo that we see
Friendly
a bit
boy later? Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I suppose he's straddling that guitar, so...
He can be our friendly cunt of the week.
Where is he getting this guitar from?
I don't care. I love it. Either way.
Fair.
I have a very similar guitar.
Nice.
It's beautiful.
Well, even that guitar was lovely.
I may have bought it because of this episode, but there we go.
No, that's fair. I mean, I can't talk about countless coats because of
Because of
episodes.
this show, yeah.
Yeah.
What, fucking Gibson.
This episode is the reason why I've eaten biscuits for lunch because of crippling loss of money. Thanks, Docky Who.
Thanks, mate.
But yes, so
Yeah, we're in Nevada.
we're in Nevada, and the Doctor exits the truck and heads towards an American diner.
American
And as he
diner.
enters, did you notice what music is playing?
I did at the time, and now I've forgotten. what
It
we're
is
playing.
the rehash, what we heard of "Don't Stop Me Now" on the Mummy of the Orient
Oh,
Express.
it is. Yes, it is.
Playing off a little radio.
I
Love
remember now. Yes, boy.
Um,
Which makes sense.
and
Oh God, I'm literally just having flashbacks of remembering what we're about to cover, and I'm not okay.
no, I'm not okay either, Pete. And this is weird because like this I've been saying obviously throughout this entire run that Clara is not by any means my favorite companion.
No,
But there are still beats in this. Even when I was watching part of this on the train,
breaks my
in
heart.
tears.
Yeah, she breaks my heart. I hate it.
No.
I hate her, and I love her in this episode so much.
One thing I will say, which is a bit of a weird beat, is when the Doctor's talking about Clara, and we see before that we see that Clara's working this diner, and this is again what I mentioned a couple of episodes ago. I just want him to find someone in an American diner who's his next companion. That would be so
cool.
good.
It'd be so
Someone
cool.
who understands and appreciates the weird, but doesn't realize quite how weird it is, but takes it all in their stride.
Yeah, because she's just going along with it. She's like, yeah, okay, cool, sure.
But then when he says he's talking about Clara and in a rather kind of absent way, and she says, "Who's Clara?" And he kind of gives this kind of not quite shocked look, but
It's a sad look. It's like, oh, you don't know either, but...
Oh, okay. Is that
on?
what you got from it? I don't know. I just felt like it was a weird way to lead into the... Well, I suppose I felt like what they were trying to do was mislead us because we obviously don't know what's happened at that point.
Yeah, they were definitely leading up that maybe this was a different... I thought maybe they were going for this as a different incarnation.
Like we've seen before Matt's
with like
era.
Oswin and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even if that's the case, someone like Clara, he would surely clock. Mm-hmm. That is your clone or
yeah
exactly the same.
Yeah.
Well, either way, it's insignificant of a point to kind of pull apart. But we go into the title sequence, once again written by Stephen Moffat. A lot of this episode is scored like an old classic Who episode. Bits of the stuff in Gallifrey, it feels very classic Who.
Very classic, like beautiful.
And I think when we cut back, we're on Gallifrey and we can hear the cloister bells going off. We get like a shot straight into the heart of some kind of window in the Gallifreyan spires.
Yes.
And we get a general and someone that we don't yet. I don't think
we know who this is yet.
Who this is yet talking, but clearly an authority figure of some kind.
Big guy boss.
But they're talking about
I can't remember the actor's name either, but I've seen the actor in something before as well.
He's been in
brilliant.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I think he has. Yeah, and some other bits and bobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's talking about the cloisters going off all the way down to the I think
Matrix.
they're just.
Do they call it the Matrix at this point?
I think it's just called the cloisters.
Maybe. Yeah.
And we've got a soldier down there who talks about the cloister wraiths, but the sliders, and that's apparently a bit of a slur.
Yeah, apparently so.
He's like, yeah, what's your
He's like, what's
language?
your turn? I'm in with the
president, prime minister,
president.
Is it president?
Yes, president.
Yeah,
yeah. And then he's like, oh shit, sorry.
And you can see these harrowing kind of shade, like
they're creepy.
Especially, well, they get even more creepy when we find out what they are, and
we don't have a close up of them yet.
No, we've just got. They look remotely Gallifreyan in stature.
Yeah, they definitely look like they've got the wonderful
crescent.
collars and hats.
Yeah,
and from what we can see, their faces look quite white, but we don't get a close up of their face yet, do they?
Yeah, but you can hear the kind of screams and
awful.
Yeah,
awful. A lot of those noises kind of sound a bit like they've used animal sounds. Yeah, but creepy as fuck.
I don't think I've written it down here. No, I think I have. Yes, I can see it. Okay, so we'll get to that.
All right.
But we'll cut back to the Doctor, and he's walking through the desert, but he's not heading to the Citadel of Gallifrey.
He's heading away.
He's heading away, and he's heading to a very familiar location.
Barn!
Fucking barn!
He's heading to that fucking barn!
And he walks in, and he walks up to where his crib used to be, and that little raised bit.
Yeah.
And for want of a better word, our Mrs. Potts archetype walks in.
Yeah.
And
she thinks it's just a random person in there, doesn't she? And she's like, "Oh, the bells! They're making such a racket.
What's going on now?"
And then she looks over,
and when the column kind of comes out of view, and
you get that wonderful, like almost remix of the Doctor's theme.
Remix of the Doctor's theme in a classical Alien kind of. Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Do we know, or I mean, it may be insignificant, but do we know what kind of relation this woman has to?
I think this is the lady that ran the orphanage.
Yeah,
I reckon so. Who's to say it's not another regeneration? Because it doesn't sound like the voice we heard in Fear.
No.
Fear? Listen, sorry.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like that voice. But the way they've recognised each other instantly, and she's gone, they're going to kill you.
But it's not like a mother's tone, is it? But it's someone who's still of a caring.
Yeah, I think it's the lady that ran the orphanage / home that he was in with all the other boys.
Doesn't it then hard cut to him at like a table when he's just surrounded by a load of very dirty looking poor Gallifreyans. With another little bowl of soup. Yeah, a little bowl.
A little bowl of soup.
Definitely not Heinz tomato soup.
But surely that would give you a bit of a trigger, knowing that that's pretty much what you've eaten for the last 4 billion years.
Yeah, like no
in the
more
confession dose.
fucking soup.
Fucking soup.
Please. But did you see an interesting correlation to the soup scene in the confession dial?
Where he drops
drops the spoon.
Yeah.
And he drops it when the ship arrives and asking him to surrender his weapons, and that's when
He drops his
I mean,
spoon.
obviously, this very doctor's used a spoon
He's used
as
the
a
spoon
weapon.
as a weapon. It's great.
Um,
And doesn't he just stand up, walk? Then the ship's saying, "Surrender yourself." You've got.
he walks up to almost the barrel of the gun.
looks it dead in the eye, draws a line in the sand with his foot,
Yeah, just walks away.
fucks off, walks into the barn. It's great. It's brilliant.
Because the next couple of scenes is just the doctor telling a lot of Gallifreyan visitors to fuck off.
To fuck right off. Yeah.
I will say that our Mrs. Potts archetype is like the worst message giver because she just comes in with
And
no
goes,
sound.
It's like, we ran out of lines for you, love. yeah.
I suppose it could be testament to maybe these people just never see the higher Gallifreyans and just the stress of having them physically there.
And she
is-
knows some shit's going down.
Yeah.
Because he's back. Yeah. And
but
we get him changing his coat as well.
yes.
Takes off his coat that is very doctory
Mm.
and puts on this black thing.
Well, the thing that we see him at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah,
with-
he's put on his like black tux-esque jacket, but he's
Yeah.
taken off his doctor coat.
sad face.
Sad face.
It's still not a bad look.
It's not a bad look, but it is spoken about later.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's sad.
I suppose we don't really need to bat around the bush because we more or less work it out as the episode goes, and I think someone outright says it. But the next person to come along is none other than Rassilon himself.
Rassilon the Redeemer. Yeah.
Um,
He's standing there with his weird little creepy hand
gauntlet thingy. Yeah.
Because he's not Timothy Dalton anymore, which sucks.
I did like him as Tim.
I love Timothy Dalton.
But I
think
was
he's
drawing
brilliant.
too many comparisons to Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, exactly. Mr.
Just
Skinner.
imagine him smiling next to a portrait of
Yeah.
himself.
And a slusher for prices.
And he orders the execution of the Doctor. A lot of these soldiers are not immediately jumping to it.
Even the general is like,
Yeah.
"Sir, you cannot expect
He's a
them."
war hero.
He's a war hero. He's come home, and a lot of these soldiers fought with him. You cannot expect them to do this.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Bitches, I do. Fucking do it."
See my shiny hand.
Yeah, my shiny hand says I'm in charge.
Listen to
He
me.
did the bad thing.
Shoot that man.
He's coming to take away my power. That's literally what he's worried about right now, isn't he,
Yeah.
Rassilon? He's like, this bitch has come back. He knows exactly what he's fucking done.
Yeah.
And he is scared that the Doctor's going to fight back. Which he is well within his rights to do.
I can't remember at what point it's played in the episode, but the Western Doctor Who sound that's good as well.
It's so good.
Um,
And then
But
they do all fire, and we smash cut back to the diner.
oh yeah,
And she goes, "Wait, what? Was this in Glasgow? Was this a gang? They shot you? Are
Space
you
Glasgow.
good?" Yeah, Space Glasgow. It's like, yeah, like Space Glasgow.
Yeah.
It's great.
Are we back to Gallifrey, or is there anything else?
I can't remember. I think we
there's
just get the
anything.
vibe that, he's been shot at.
Yeah, and then it.
Oh, and he wants some lemonade or something. I
Oh
think.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because doesn't she say something like "You love a cliffhanger"?
Yes.
Because he asked for that. Just
Yeah.
just
He's like,
as
"There's
the
some more
shot happens.
lemonade." It's like, yeah.
And there we're back, and then you can see like the sizzling on the door, and it cuts away, and they've done like a
It's
perfect
like a
outline.
perfect silhouette of him. Yeah.
Um,
I'm very glad that poor Mrs. Potts lady wasn't standing behind the door.
Well, just behind the wall, just a bit of
Yeah.
eviscerated
Oh, fuck.
against the wall.
Yeah. And then
Well,
just suddenly she's like, "Shh," and she like regenerates.
it just golden light.
Yeah,
comes
like,
out.
"Oh, mate."
Well, I suppose they're high Gallifreyan. They may not have the regeneration.
They might not.
No, they might just be peeps.
They might just be peeps.
I'm sorry, King Ben. They may just be more humanoids.
They may
that
just be
aren't
more
human.
humanoids.
You ain't seen the flying fish yet.
Yeah, boy.
And
Yeah,
But
and
I'm-
Rassilon's like, "You missed. You all fucking missed."
yeah, he ain't buying that these guys are like Imperial stormtroopers. There's no.
Yeah, and he yanks one soldier, doesn't he? And he's like,
I am Rassilon.
yeah. He
Listen to
grabs
me.
one, and he's like, "You, what happened? Why did this go wrong?" And he's like, "There was a saying in the Time War."
Oh, the Doctor of War. The one thing you notice about the Doctor
of War is that he's unarmed.
Yeah.
And then the little lad puts his gun down and goes and stands.
Oh,
right
that's when we
next
get
to
the.
Doctor. Yeah, and then one by one they all end up going over to him.
Yeah.
and except for the general's still standing, I think, with Rassilon, and then the Doctor says, "Get off my planet."
Yeah. And I think
it's
it
like,
then hard.
I am Rassilon, the Redeemer. What the fuck?
Yeah, and he's like, "No, I can't. Get off my world."
Yeah, then the other one's like, then the general's like, "With respect, Lord President,
Get off
his planet."
And I think that's when it
Genius.
hard cuts to the little shuttle being
like,
shot out, and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, and I think even the general's like, I think that was a bit harsher, and he's like, "Oh, you think the council on the next fucking shuttle?
Yeah, I haven't even fucking started,
We'll
mate.
get the janitors, we'll get the food stuff.
Yeah.
All of them are gone."
All of you go. Yeah, he's like, tell the Grand Council that they're on the next shuttle.
Yeah, we have missed a reappearance of. No, sorry, do your
Oh,
thing.
we have, haven't we?
But do your thing.
Gallifrey's massive and cool. Why haven't they got more than one shuttle that can go off at once?
Yeah, but they're the keepers of
What do you
the.
mean the next shuttle? Surely there are plenty of
It's like
shuttles
Space
available.
Mountain. You just need to wait for it to come back.
But where's he send him? Did we?
I think it's just
find out?
exile,
Just
'cause
go. Yeah.
I don't-
So as far as we're aware, Rassilon's kicking around out there now.
I think there's been some big finish shit.
Has there?
There's got to be. If we're doing Jackie Tyler and the Eighth Doctor and Harriet Jones, there's got to be something.
There's got to be something about Rassilon out
yeah,
there.
probably in a different
different body.
regeneration or
Yeah.
whatever. But I'm so sure.
Got to be out there, isn't he? Somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because again, dating this episode slightly, but with what we've most recently had in Doctor Who, I thought for a moment that our certain antagonist was Rassilon.
I thought so too.
Yeah,
I thought so too.
getting
Trying to get
Rassilon
home.
vibes. Well, not
Yeah.
even that, but just like he's become content with his exile, but he's not content being a good guy.
Oh, fair dues.
He needs
fair
to have
dues.
some coercive control.
Yeah.
Boy, he's
Yeah, yeah.
what he's doing.
That would have been cool.
But yeah, so the thing we missed was the return of the Sisterhood
The
of Khan.
Sisterhood of Khan, yeah. Who
and
are
the-
up, at the very, very beginning when they're chatting about the cloister wraiths, aren't they? She's up
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
But we get the Doctor meeting with them when he goes down to the cloisters.
Yeah, he's gone down to the cloisters, hasn't he? He's fiddling with his confession dial.
Yeah, because we get a bit of an explanation on the
Clearly
confession dial.
traumatized.
And this is where one of the cloister wraiths unapologetically makes the sound of a fucking TIE fighter. It just goes past her.
Oh shit! It does. Oh, I wonder if that's a little Easter egg.
I'd love to think so, because for me personally, especially with my love of Star Wars, it's one of the greatest sounds in cinema history. It's
Yeah.
just such an authentic, such a, not authentic, but such a
Iconic noise.
iconic noise. Yeah, exactly that. And with, not to diverge too much, but with even recent episodes of Andor, that sound is terrifying.
It's a great
You
sound.
know that shit's
about to go
Well,
down.
not even that, but just like they'll get you from the sky and they're quick about it, and it's
Yeah,
just
boy.
TIE fighters. Nah, they're terrifying.
Such a good sound.
Not fun to pilot. I years ago I bought I think it was Star Wars Starships. It was one of the recent releases where
Oh, yeah.
very much like Star Wars Battlefront, except it was always in space and you could like customize your cockpit and stuff. Flying a TIE fighter is one of the most it's just fucking awful.
Is it?
Yeah, controls are fucked.
Oh no.
It's awful. I crashed into so many asteroids. I was not a ally of the Empire like today. But I think with them back in the council chamber, because then there's the
Doesn't he
conversa-
like say about his confession dial a little bit to the Sisterhood of Khan, though, doesn't he? Says about
Yeah.
how it was supposed to be where you contained your death rather than not. You went in there dead, not a torture chamber for the living.
Yeah.
And he's fuming, and she's going, "What are you going to do? Are you actually going to be a president right now? What's the vibe? What is your plan? You have to have a plan." And he's like, "I don't fucking know right now." Liar.
And is that where we're back
I think so.
in the
I can't remember if
council?
they say anything else more
No.
of importance.
And that's where he's got the commander to start to rattle off stuff, and he's correcting him on almost every point.
Literally every single second. Yeah. Basically talking about the hybrid again.
I do like that the Doctor says, well, the hybrid must be well hard then.
Yeah, it must be well hard then. Yeah, it's great.
And also that when they're talking about questions around the hybrid, he just asks, well, what colour is it?
Where's all the important stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And I can't remember if she's ever given a name, but our leader of the Sisterhood of Khan's immediately like, Doctor, this is not the time for
Not time to play the
play
clown.
the fool. Or,
Yeah, play the fool. And he's like, it's the only time I've got.
Yeah. I've got the use of
Oh,
the.
because we're
Oh no, I know.
we're trapped at the end of the universe, aren't we?
Yes.
Yes, because he's like, "How did you survive?" Blah blah blah,
Mm.
and he's like, "Well, we're in a pocket at the end of the universe," and that's when
Yeah.
the Doctor says, "She says it's no time to play the fool." He goes, "I'm at the end of the universe. It's the only time I've got left."
Yeah, you got it. But they deduce that the next thing that they need to do is to go to an extraction chamber because he needs to get in contact with an old friend.
He's getting in contact with an old friend for more information about the
Yeah.
hybrid. Yes.
And this is where we then cut back to Clara's last moments, do we not?
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, we did.
beautifully visually depicted, where it does that. I don't know what you call it, but like where it's almost like an old TV where
Well, you've paused it, but it's flicking from one frame to another.
you got like the weird kind of like red,
That
bluish
haze
hue.
blue. Yeah, yeah.
And you've got like almost like the flashbang sound initially as well when the ravens are done.
Yeah.
And I think a door opens and some light pours out, and you got the Doctor being like, "Come with me, I can save you."
Yeah, yeah.
She looks back to the version of the Doctor in that moment,
Yeah.
and then goes with them.
Yeah.
And she's in a room with.
Have we got that high-pitched ringing?
It's initially there, but then I think it goes when
It goes
she's
away quite quickly. doesn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
And the general's pretty much from the outset. He's like, "You've got to tell her."
Well, it's even as though when Clara's walking in, the way the Doctor's like kind of wringing his hands, and he's looking at her, his eyes are so wide. He's like, "Fuck it, faster, faster, get in the fucking room,
Yeah.
yeah. He's anxious. Like you don't often see him like that, and he's like he's anxious that she's in there quick.
Yeah.
And vibes are off. He
And-
has crazy eyes a lot of the time, but those eyes were like,
Yeah.
oh god, yeah.
And she's asking where she is, and he's not being direct about it.
He's not
Does he
saying
just say
anything.
something like "my place"?
Yeah, my place. You're at my place. And he's like, wait, what? Your place?
Your
Like,
place?
yeah, your place wasn't supposed to be existing anymore. He's like, yeah, I know, a thing happened. Yeah, and the general's asking again and again, like, look,
You got to tell her.
you've got to tell us what
we
this
always
is.
tell them.
We always tell them. We got to tell her what this is. Yeah, and she's like, what? And then she's like, something's wrong with my hearing. I still can't hear quite right.
She can hear the Doctor, but not the others.
No, she can hear everything, doesn't she?
Oh, okay.
She's like, it's something missing.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like
yeah.
there's something missing. Do they tell her what that is then?
No, I think we find out what that is in the cloisters,
Do we?
because the Doctor does talk about what that thing is that she's forgotten to listen out for.
I
Don't
swear he
know.
says it in this point.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I've got a note for it, so we can address it now.
We can address it now,
does-
yeah,
it's-
because she said, what's wrong with my hearing? I can't hear anything. It's like, it's not what you can hear, it's what you can't hear. You can't subconsciously hear your heart beating.
Yeah.
And even your breathing's just a habit. You don't need to do that. You've been spliced
Yeah.
out of your time frame. Yeah, timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the general's saying like,
We need information from you, and then we have to put you
"We'll
back.
return you to the your last moments."
Yeah, this isn't a saving.
And doesn't the Doctor walk up quite closely to Clara and say something to the effect of, "I'm sorry about your jaw"?
I'm sorry about your jaw. Yeah.
Which she's like, "What?" And it wasn't talking to
Wasn't
you.
talking to you.
Wham!
Whack. Proper like.
Our general boy.
Yeah, General Boy on
And
the floor.
disarms him as well.
Disarms him.
Points a gun at him, which is very,
Very not
unusual
Doctor.
for the Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Clara's like, what the fuck? And these poor people in the background working are also like, ah! Just got their little
I just
arms up,
pushed the
like,
button. Why am I here for this?
I just work here.
And
Yeah.
he asks the general what regeneration he's on.
Yeah, but like, he asks for something first. He asks for a human compatible something.
Is
I
this
can't
the thing
remember
that?
what it's called, but it's the thing.
Oh, okay. So he asks for the thing,
The
which will
human
be
compatible thing that I can't remember the name of.
yeah.
And then the general's like, what the fuck are you going to do with that? That's the sidearm of the president's protection. There isn't a stun setting. And then the Doctor's like, oh, okay, how many?
The Doctor also says, "By pain of death, no one take a selfie."
Oh, shit. Yeah, when he's armed.
Sorry, I just had to hold that in.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just
I forget about
a
that.
fun little beat.
I love it, but I was just like, why?
Do lots of people do that in gun
In
situations?
gun-pointing
Some wank like,
situations?
"Eh."
Yeah, way. But yeah, he's like, how many? And Clara's like, what?
What?
Yeah. What does he say? Is it the 10th? Is it the 10th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's nothing to shake a squirrel at.
Yeah, that's
That's close to.
that's close to it.
Yeah. All he
Yeah.
has to do is trip and fall off a scaffolding like the fourth Doctor, and he's fucked.
Yeah, Doctor says good luck.
Yeah. You too,
Shoots the
sir.
fucker.
And
Yeah,
shoots.
shoots him.
Yeah.
I like the General. In
Yeah.
all fairness, I think the General's great.
Mm.
He's obviously doing his job.
Yeah.
Realises though that Rassilon's a piece of shit.
But
I don't
also-
think he's agreed with it the entire time, but he has to do his job.
But believes in the Doctor, even in.
Even at this very moment,
Yeah. He's
I
like,
think
I
there's-
don't like what you're doing, but like.
you're you. There's got to be something.
And I suppose he's also reassured, like, the Doctor's not just doing this out of malice directed at him. He's wished him good luck. Like, that's.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that to someone that you
No, that you're just about to
gun
kill.
down mercilessly.
And also, he's not asked him how many. Said 10 and then shot him twice
Yeah.
to get rid of
Two
it
more, bitch.
completely. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He's just
Yeah.
he knows he's not going to let him go, so he has to do something.
Yeah.
Although I'm not too convinced that the Doctor couldn't have just held the gun on him and like shimmied his way around the wall and just locked him in.
But I suppose he had to make it look good for
Yeah.
the other guard. Well, I don't know, because like everyone
know.
else in the room would be like, that seemed really staged to me.
Yeah.
He seemed okay with
Is he
that.
okay with all of this shit I don't understand? Yeah, I don't know. There were probably... obviously, tensions are very high. The
Yeah.
Doctor's very cross,
Yeah.
very upset. Has had a long time to be thinking.
And I suppose it only needs a matter of minutes.
Yeah,
if that,
Yeah, he just needs to get out. But yeah,
Um,
either way, gets shot, runs away.
Clara's freaking out
I
at
was
this
like, what the
point.
fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck?
Gunned
Yeah.
down a man, and he's saying like, no, death for Time Lords is man flu.
Man flu, yeah, it's basically just man flu. And then that lovely soldier comes back in and is like, oh, regeneration in progress.
Shades their eyes as our general regenerates.
Yeah,
Into
the sexiest woman alive.
Yeah,
She's gorgeous, right?
she's got presence.
She's got fucking presence. And I love that she's like, oh, I'm a woman again, finally.
How do you deal with that
How-
ego?
Yeah, how do you deal with that ego? She's great. She instantly has fucking do not fuck with me presence.
Yeah.
She is there. She is in that character straight a fucking way. And wonderfully as well, the little soldier boy is like, are you okay, sir? Literally sees her face and goes, oh, sorry, ma'am. That's it. That's it. It's perfect.
Yeah,
Very topical at the moment, but perfect.
indeed.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh shit, the Doctor's run away with this person that we have extracted. Oopsie doodles. Whoop whoop.
And
Doctor and Clara are running away.
I think we've got so
Smash
they're
back
running
to
the
the
cloisters.
diner.
Oh yeah, because she's saying like you killed a
You
man.
don't seem like the man. You don't seem like
the
someone that
type.
would kill somebody. Yeah,
I can't remember if there's anything else.
I can't remember if he rebuttals that with
think that
something
might
like
just-
everyone has a bad day or something. I'm not sure. Do you know what I
Quite
mean?
dismissive if he does say that.
I don't think he does.
I often kill a man on my bad days.
I don't think he does he?
No, I think that
he
is
just
just back
looks at her
to
like, oops.
them running to the cloisters.
Oh, does she say something? She must have meant a lot to you.
Oh, yeah, there's Clara. Yeah, she
Clara must have meant a lot to you. You don't seem like the man that would kill somebody.
Um,
And then I'll be in the cloisters, I think, yeah.
yeah, but we get. I don't know if it's alluded to in this moment, but we'll just say anyway because we get a little bit of misdirect on this point. The Doctor is the only one who's made it out of the cloisters.
I don't think we know that it's the Doctor. We know that someone has made it
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
the cloisters. Yeah, yeah.
It's a stone circuit, a living computer that can predict the future.
yeah. And there's one way out, and he's claiming to try and find it, isn't he?
He also says something just off the cuff. What the fuck did the cloister wars look like?
What the fuck did the
What was
cloister
that?
wars look like? Yeah.
I do love it when I can't remember which episode it is, but oh no, it's the end of Tennant's run where he's talking about when the Master's bringing back Gallifrey and like what else he'll be bringing back through and like the army of memoirs and the Nightmare Child and
Yeah.
I love all that shit where it's just like these unspeakable horrors. Annoyingly, someone has depicted the Nightmare Child and it's just a big bastard baby in space.
Oh.
Although saying that, I've seen things like Near Automata where big giant babies floating around is actually quite terrifying.
Oh,
But
yeah, I can imagine it's fucking horrible.
as long as you do it right, it's fine. But Yeah, just like the Tyrannid from 40K level of horror. It's the Fox side of space.
Yeah.
And we get some old friends return in the cloisters. We get a Dalek that is pleading for its own extermination, that's covered in drippage.
Covered in drippage, covered in vines, covered in tubes.
Doesn't he say something like they're not... that there's something that specifically those vines are... they're like lashed into the matrix or something.
It's like they're alive or something. They're part of the computer system.
Because it's not just Daleks, but we've also got the shitty design of the Cybermen. But we do also have our big old stone boys.
We have a weeping angel.
I do love that there's that kind of jump moment where it's got vines around it. It jumps, and you can see the vines have like stretched.
Yeah.
To where it now is.
To where it is now. Yeah.
Yeah, so we get a little bit of this conversation because Clara is then able to deduce that the little boy that they're talking about who went missing
was the doctor.
Was the doctor. Because I think she misdirects him and saying... Yeah,
she makes him basically...
reveal, I did this. And
I did this. And I did... Oh, yeah, shit. And she was like, I fucking knew it.
Doesn't she say something lovely like, I'd recognise you anywhere?
I'd recognise you anywhere. Yeah, and I was like, oh...
Start of the sadness is
Stop
right
it.
here.
Yeah, because he was literally telling her stories and spinning it about how he ran away and ended up in somebody's bedroom or something.
Somewhere on the other side of the city, yeah.
Yeah. And she was like, that was you, and he's like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he talks about the president's wife.
President's wife!
And it wasn't actually the president's wife, it was the president's daughter?
Something like that, yeah. He corrects something that she has said deliberately wrong, and then he's like, oh, shit, yeah.
But during all of this and intertwined with all of this, Clara's asking him how long it's been since he last saw her, and he's
bluffing it off.
Yeah, but doing it in that way where you know someone's not okay, like the whole like it's fine and
because he's not looking at her properly.
No,
he's busying himself. He's not looked at her properly once since he's grabbed her. Because she grabs his... Oh, we forgot. There's that wonderful bit where he's holding the general at gunpoint and he's got his hand by his side and she just grabs his hand. She just grabs his hand and it's so cute because he doesn't really react. He just kind of holds it back and it's like... Oh. But yeah, anyway, they're on the floor.
Yep.
Trying to figure out this dial.
We've also got our... general coming down with a load of troops and Sisterhood of Khan.
It's just, there's a way that he says it really doesn't matter, and the way he looks at her and says it, and it's just like it really doesn't matter.
And that is loaded with, even if he does believe that whatever this thing is that doesn't matter was a lot.
Was huge, yeah. He's literally saying it was big, but please don't worry. This is too much. You won't like this.
Yeah.
Let's just carry on. And she is fuming.
Yeah.
And they're approaching from behind, aren't they? And she said, "You stay back.
Yeah,
you stay back," because she's just getting to something, and he just will not tell her. And then she says something like, she ggets up and talks to the Sister of Khan, doesn't she? She's like, I need to know how long was he in that?
In the confessional.
And she is cold as fuck.
Yeah, well, we
think 4.5 billion years. There's no remorse.
No.
There's no, I'm really sorry that this has happened to your friend. She just says it like that.
Yeah.
Almost intonation exact as to what we've just done.
Yeah, we think the milk expires.
Yeah.
So...
I thought that I liked the Sisterhood of Khan until this point.
Do you think, though, because the Sisterhood of Khan is another, not maybe immortal, but clearly a long-living race, do you think perhaps that's an insignificant period of time for them?
I don't know. I don't know how long-lived they are, but 4.5 billion years of torture, regardless of how immortal you are.
Yeah.
Surely
any level of torture ain't great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously the Time Lords are semi-immortal, but they've still got a expiry date.
Yeah.
So 4.5 billion years of doing the same thing every day.
Yeah.
You can't even... There's no way that you can even envisage that.
No, but yeah, like you say, to say it so...
fucking cold. Because she's not a cold person.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. She's like thorough and to the point, but she's helped the Doctor. She clearly cares for him.
I don't know.
In some weird, twisted way.
Yeah, but remember how she was with the 8th... Is it the 8th Doctor?
True, yeah. She was
where she was like talking about what do you need right now, and when he says, will it hurt? And she just looks and just like, yeah.
True, yeah, true. I suppose. I don't know.
I think there's some investment there, but I don't think I would quite say care.
But then why is she here? She
Because
doesn't need to be here.
it's just an important point of history. The sisterhood of Khan have always been there to
Just
kind of
to watch,
observe, much
yeah.
like the Time Lords have, to kind of observe,
Yeah.
monitor situations, see
Yeah.
if they go bad.
I think I'm just bitter right now.
No, that's fair. Right.
You're making sense. Shut up.
It doesn't make her any less of a
No.
cunt in this minute. Like,
No, she's brutal.
yeah.
And then, Clara's face though when she says 4.5 billion years.
Yeah. Why would you even do
Restful.
that to yourself?
Oh, don't! She shoves him in the chest.
Yeah. Tears in her eyes.
Oh my god! She's like, why? Oh no, because she said, "Is that?" She turns to him and says, "Is that true?" And she went, "If she says so." He doesn't even acknowledge it properly. Then
No.
he's still too fucking busy trying to fucking save her. And then she goes, "Why would you do that to yourself?" And he goes, "I had a duty of care." But the way he says it is like he's only just realizing it in that very moment, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like that. It just looks like, duh. Obviously,
Yeah.
I've only just realised that, but that's what. Yeah. Oh, beautiful! That whole moment. Beautiful.
And I mean, it's followed up by, and I suppose this is purely to your interpretation of what goes on. I'll be interested in what your take is on this, because we get a moment where she goes off and talks to the doctor, and a beautiful cutaway. We've got a bit of her theme, the shot of.
I love her theme so much.
It's a beautiful theme.
It's for me.
It's interwoven with the 11th Doctor.
Yeah.
There's bits of him in that,
Yeah.
and every single time it plays, I remember.
It also always reminded me, for some reason, of some of the music from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
A little bit Belle-esque.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was like, oh my god! But yeah, she sits down and she says, doesn't she? She says, "There's some things you and I we need to say to each other. There's some things people need to say to each other, and I need you to listen right now."
What do you think?
I don't want to know.
No.
I don't think I don't think you could ever have.
Well, I suppose that
a
was the use of the
relationship
cutaway.
like that. And I don't know. I genuinely don't know, and I don't think anybody needs to know because
Okay.
it's for them.
No, fair.
Do you know?
Well,
It's
obviously
just,
the use of the cutaway, yeah.
it's just too beautiful, and I think with their relationship, it's so unique and so weird that it wouldn't make sense to anybody anyway.
No, but it makes sense to
It's-
them,
it's-
I suppose.
it's
Which
them.
is,
Yeah,
that's all that really
it is
matters.
theirs.
Yeah, which I suppose is a lovely commentary on relationships overall. Like, there's been countless examples of relationships where two people would be entirely happy, but other people can't understand the relationship, whether
Yeah.
it be from prejudice or just dislike of that person or falling outs or whatever. But these
Yeah.
two people are just in love with each other, and that's enough.
And I think that these two's love like transcends anything
Yeah.
romantic at all. It is just
See, that's interesting because Still Got Legs think that this is very much just like a love thing, that the whole traveling with the Doctor after the early stuff with 12 and Clara was almost like their affair.
Oh, okay. I don't think I ever saw that.
Okay. No, that's
I don't think
interesting.
I ever saw these two as romantic.
Okay.
But then I've always seen that like the Doctor is a very asexual being anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously you've got the whole Rose Sitch
But even
and
then,
the River Song bit, but none of it ever really felt
I'd say more River Song because I feel like the Doctor was always of the mind that he couldn't love Rose and was kind of stuck in his ways. Obviously conflicted about that, but would never deviate from that. And obviously he found a weird way to deal with it, having his own human clone take the place of him.
Yeah.
But River Song's a completely different example, I suppose. Part Time Lord and
Yeah.
just transcends again.
Again, I think it just transcends anything that we could understand, which is why I think the cutaway was so well done.
No, gorgeous, yeah.
What do you think?
No, I don't. I feel foolish.
What do you mean?
Because
Why?
with you having said that, that is far more sensical and like no, yeah.
But that's the thing. It's so open to interpretation.
I know,
It could
but
mean
like
anything.
I agree with you now in this moment that there shouldn't be a definitive. And obviously, me saying it now doesn't make it definitive in the world of fucking Doctor Who. But I don't want to say now because that is that.
I should have let you go first.
No. I love that That is no, I prefer that.
Eh,
That is good.
I'm curious though.
It was nothing huge. It was going to be something as compared to that, almost insignificant.
No,
so.
that's a lie. Nothing's insignificant.
But yeah, no, I do prefer that take. But as well as whatever was said, there's also the distraction, isn't there?
The
'Cause
plan,
she'll
yeah,
walk up
because
to them.
we circle back up and back down to the cloisters, don't we? And Clara gets up and she's obviously been sobbing,
Yeah,
and she just looks at them and she's, what she say? How dare you? How dare you do that? You're monsters.
yeah. And then doesn't she walk up close to them so he's out of shot?
And she says more stuff about how fucked up it is,
Yeah,
and how you deserve to be at the end of the universe, and how you deserve this to be your final time. Fuck you, essentially.
and
And yeah, because the Sisterhood of Khan asks her what she says to him. What did you say to him?
yeah,
And she said, I'm never telling you. But what I did say was, they'll all be looking at me.
Yeah.
Pan back.
and he's gone.
The hatch is open. He is gone.
One thing before we get in, because obviously a lot of this is a bit fast paced and stuff. Because otherwise going back to it would be weird. But we did see a little bit more of the cloister race.
We did.
They've got and
Digitized faces.
we find out a bit more about what happens to Time Lords when they die.
Yeah.
That they get uploaded to the mainframe, and the cloister wraiths are like the guard dogs of.
Yeah.
Was that a particular doctor's face that we were seeing screaming? It almost looked like 10. It was
I don't
weird.
know. I wasn't sure if it was just people's faces.
Bit harrowing. Whatever
Awful.
the
Like
fuck
it
was.
glitches between a couple of them and they're obviously screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And we've heard like rustling voices from some of the cables, haven't we? Like years and years of Time Lords
yeah.
in there chatting. Yeah.
That
They
has
are
reminded
horrible.
me of something for later. So in a later segment, we'll get,
Okay.
we'll get to that.
And
Thank you also for reminding me, because I was worried. I thought, oh God, I've forgotten what it was. Yes, so TARDIS turns up. but
Yeah, because the Sisterhood of Khan goes, what is he doing now? Where's he gone? What's he doing?
What he
And
always
she goes,
does.
What he's always done. He's back. The Doctor's back on Gallifrey. He's doing what he always does. He's
stealing a TARDIS and running away. And TARDIS materializes
TARDIS
around
materialises.
him.
It's that beautiful old
Cylinder.
cylinder.
Yeah.
Oh, it's wonderful.
And the TARDIS interior.
Oh,
Classic
my God, I
TARDIS
love it.
interior.
I love it.
Um,
I love it so much.
I think
It's
there's a bit of an
beautiful.
immediate back and forth of what do you think of the new wheels, and
Yeah.
I don't think she's 100% convinced.
She's not convinced.
No, but
It's
we
so
love
many
it.
round things. I love the round things.
What are they?
No idea.
I love how in tune we are.
Yeah.
Comes to this silly little show.
But yeah, it's beautiful. And he says, have you got a pulse yet?
Oh yeah.
And she says no.
No, but he's concluding that we have to fly further away. But he's also talking about the plan, and I have written down what the plan is of what they're going to do. What do you say to lunch followed by breakfast? Because we're time travelers and that's how we roll. Then cocktails with Moses, and then invent a flying submarine because no one else has, and it's annoying.
I love the plan.
But yeah, so Clara still doesn't have a
Still doesn't
pulse,
have a
and he's
pulse.
convinced during this that she's just not checking it, right?
Yeah. So he checks it and she's
And
like, oh,
it's
okay,
like,
that's fine. We just
bitch,
haven't...
I'm a PE teacher as well as an RE teacher, an English teacher, and teacher of all sorts ever. I know how to check a
I know
pulse
how to
and
check
do
my pulse. I'm a nurse.
Basic nurse shit.
But also, she really doesn't, because she's not even holding her wrist properly, like to take the pulse.
It should, if there are visual listeners, which there are none, is it like that?
I thought that you're supposed to put your fingers across that there, but I'm pretty sure she's doing it on the tips of her fingers, and the tips of your fingers, I think, have their own pulse. So I think you're supposed to lie your hand flat. I could be
okay.
completely wrong. I could be dissing her completely, but I feel like I do remember watching her do it and being like, I don't think that's right. I could be wrong.
You know what I've always wanted, which annoyingly still got legs, found quite early on, and have also had on the show. I feel like we need someone who is a scientist.
How cool would that be?
Just because, you know, obviously there's so many moments, and especially earlier Doctor Who, where they're like, scientific laboratory. It's just Bunsen burners fucking exploding and like weird liquid tubes and shit like that. And it's like, we know science. So yeah, it would be nice to have someone who knows sciencey shit to be
Somebody
able
who knows how to take their pulse properly.
Yeah, and then we could sit them in a room with Ben and just let what happen happen. But yeah,
He's convinced that they need to fly her further away
yeah,
from the extraction room and away from her timeline to reboot her.
yeah.
So we're going to the very, very, very end of time.
We do have a bit of a breakdown from the Doctor as well in the TARDIS. I can't remember exactly what was said, but it's almost very Time Lord Victorious.
It's got to work. It's got to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's just,
He's essentially saying,
I will make it work.
I will make this work. This is like my people's technology. This should work. It's got to work.
And Clara's hitting him with all the rebuttals like, what if this is my last heartbeat? This is the last one I'll ever have.
What if you need to put me back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get...
He's like, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I was like, literally, the first time I was like, ah!
Wilf!
Yeah, I was like, get the fuck out, Wilf! I was not ready to lose
the
Capaldi
harbinger
that day.
of doom is Wilf.
No!
Yeah.
I was like, ooh. But then I also had like flashbacks to Listen as well, because the Listen was for Knox, wasn't it? Or was it not?
Oh, what, on
just
the
3?
outside of Danny...
Yeah,
Not Danny Pink's
Yeah, it might have been
spacecraft.
3.
I
But
don't
either
remember.
way, regardless of how many numbers, I instantly thought, it's the thing at the end of the universe. We're going to find out what it is. We're going to find out what it is under the scary blanket.
Thing. It's Wilf!
But yeah,
But
and
no.
he says, you can't come with me. You have to stay in here.
Yeah. I love an end of the universe setting, kind of like what we've had. I don't know if you've seen the first season of Loki,
Yes.
where it's like a kind of almost like God figure overlooking. Annoyingly, we don't really see much. It's just a big old glowing light. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, but I suppose we should get into the elephant in the room. They're back. Me's
is
back.
But what I find really annoying is that they haven't gone anywhere physically in space. They're still on Gallifrey.
Yeah.
They've only gone forward in time. So how the fuck did she get there?
And it is very wishy-washy because she's apparently got this energy bubble bullshit around her, and the Doctor's like, how are you sustaining this? And her only rebuttal is like, oh, brilliantly.
Brilliantly, yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Now, I will say...
How is she not dead?
Yeah.
This
Because
is-
she's not immortal, is she? She can, like...
She is functionally immortal, but she can
Yeah.
be killed.
Yeah, if she's out in space or hit by a fucking missile, she does.
She's the luckiest motherfucker in
She's
the world.
slightly less brittle version of Owen from Torchwood.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous.
But...
And I still to this day don't think I understand why she needed to even be there.
Well,
you
they do
remember-
talk about 2 immortals, and it makes sense for them to be there at the end of the universe. But
Yeah.
there are immortals that are far more immortal than she is,
And they're
i.e.,
not
Jack
there.
Harkness, and they're not there.
Yeah.
Um,
It doesn't make any sense.
I will say this: this is the most easy to watch out of the 3 versions of me
her.
that we've seen.
Absolutely.
The acting's better.
Yeah.
I
I
feel
think
like
she's a bit more resigned
yeah.
at this point, isn't she?
There are little
like,
points where she dips back into a shield door and they're really fucking annoying, but
Yeah.
like mainly when they're in the TARDIS. But this kind of stuff where they're very just a matter of fact and things like that, I enjoy. And they've made her up to look a bit older.
She looks a little older. She looks a little bit more settled in
Yeah,
her being. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I can take her seriously when she's in more seriously when she's in plainer clothes. I feel like it just
Yeah.
felt very. I don't know. This might come off weirdly, but like when she's in like the kind of royalty stuff for the earlier episodes and
Yeah.
stuff, it just I don't know. Something is at play there that doesn't make it as
Doesn't work. Yeah.
No, but it's fine-ish now.
Even the mayor outfit with all of the hair and I don't know. It was just odd.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's there.
And sorry, I've gone through all the notes of which we've just said. And Clara uses the sonic specs to turn on the screen
Yeah,
to see
because
what
the Doctor very obviously
the
turns the
fuck
screen
is
off,
going on.
so she can't see.
Thank God screen comes with audio.
Exactly, yeah.
Screen and sound, please.
Screen and sound. Thanks.
And yeah, so the Doctor reveals in that moment that he's gonna wipe.
He's going to do the only thing he can do
Yeah,
to keep her safe. They can't carry on like this. He's going to wipe her memory.
yeah. I think he's talking. Sorry, He's spoken in that moment, and obviously referencing poor Donna Noble. That he's done it in the past.
He's done it before, yeah.
Via psychic link, but this is going to be slightly different. It'll be painless.
Yeah.
Which sucks because then that means that what Donna went through wasn't painless.
I know. Poor Donna.
And we've got some more debating over the hybrid and what
They
that
chat about
is.
that shit again, don't they?
Yeah. I feel.
Do we have? Yeah. Do they decide?
I don't think
that
we
it's-
ever get a definitive answer.
Do we decide though that it is essentially the Doctor and Clara together?
But she's not a warrior.
I think that was all like hearsay and shit, wasn't it? That was just legends being.
Well, I
spun
suppose, yeah,
from
because the Doctor
warrior
does say
races.
that even if it was me, she's still part of a warrior race, i.e. human. So yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, and I think at one point he even says, of course, like the Time Lords and the Daleks would think it was them because they're pompous fuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why can't it be anything? But I think that's the vibe. I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
yeah. And he's like, I'm going to do it. I've already started doing it. I'm going to do it now. This is it.
And me's asking, like, will you be honest?
He's
Will,
like-
will you tell her what's going to go down? And he says, yeah,
of
tell
course
her
I
now.
will. Yeah.
And they go into the TARDIS, walks in.
She's frantically turned the screens off.
Yeah, me's behind him, and Clara's obviously
Shaking.
hyper focused on what's about to happen and has forgotten to act surprised when me comes in.
Yeah.
To which the Doctor
"Hi."
immediately picks up
Yeah,
on.
the
Is
Doctor's
like,
like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah.
you don't seem surprised to see this bastard again.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm not. I was watching. She literally just flat
Yeah,
out.
yeah, she
tells the
realises
truth.
there's no
She's
going
like,
back.
I can't lie. I was watching. I had the things. I was watching. You can't do this to me. And he's like, I have to do this to you, bitch.
I do have another quote. Or do you wait?
Go.
Do you have
no,
it?
you go. You go.
You
go.
sure?
Yeah.
These are the best years of my life, and they are mine. Do you have a different one, or
Only that she'd reverse the polarity of the because she had
Oh,
the
yeah.
device in there as well, didn't she?
yeah?
So
And the
I've-
Doctor's like, bastard, I don't know what you you.
I don't
You
think
could have
you can
turned
do
this into
that.
a fucking soap. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what you've done
Oh.
to this.
And then they're like, oh, yeah. He convinces her, doesn't he? And he says, I don't even think that you can do that.
Yeah,
We're
but
gonna-
this will do something
This
to
will do
one of
something
us.
To one of us. And she said, what are we going to do? And he said, we're going to do it together. Like we always have, you, me, here in the TARDIS.
Doesn't she say no to that?
Does she say no?
It's not like a definitive no, but it's like a nah.
Oh, God, yeah, she does, doesn't she? She says,
Yeah.
nah, why don't we just run away?
Yeah,
And
oh,
he's
yeah.
like, yeah, that
That'd
would be
be-
really
that'd be
nice.
really
That
nice.
would be great. And he's like, yeah, let's do it.
Pete, we're about to get to the moment, but not when I say the moment. I mean the moment. Because there are words that are said. For our listeners, I'm currently holding Pear Vesta. And Pete's got two little pears. He hasn't picked up the canned pears that I
the
left
fucking
on the
canned
fucking table. Yes, so...
So they decide to do it.
Yeah,
And it'll either wipe Clara's memory of the Doctor or the Doctor's memory of Clara. And she says, I don't think I could ever forget you.
and he says,
he
Clara,
says-
I don't think you're ever going to have to.
The fact that his face falls just
Yeah.
before he says it, and it's like, oh, Clara, I don't think you're going to have to.
But it's the initial point before that which the dialogue in that short moment feels so authentic, where they pushed it and they're like, what do you think happens now? And like, I guess we just kind of
going to wait.
wait a little bit.
Yeah, do you feel anything? And she's like,
Yeah.
no, I don't think I could ever forget you. And it's like,
Oh, shit. And the Doctor collapses a little bit.
just a
And
little bit, he's okay.
I haven't written down the whole... I should have done, because it feels like probably the most important one. But, of course, we've got our first mention of the... And never ever eat pears. They make your chin,
Your chin
soggy.
squeak. Oh, he says ridiculous things, doesn't he? He says like,
Well,
he
we've got the
goes for the whole never
cowardly.
be cruel, cowardly, and if you are, always make amends. Laugh at everything because it's always funny. love it because it's always funny and he's right.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's hard. To be honest, it's going to sound awful.
No.
I wouldn't have been upset if this was his regeneration speech.
No, me
it's
neither.
Perfect.
But then we would never have got.
We'd never have got the fucking
Peak.
genius peak shit that
Yeah.
is the actual regeneration speech. And
Yeah.
she's-
Well, and everything before that.
and everything before that. She is sobbing, but quite brilliantly, I think, because she's not letting out full-on wails, but she's got that
Yeah.
perfect kind of.
And thank God me's not interjecting in any of that. They're
Fucking
barely in
me!
shot. They're out of it. Thank fucking God.
I hate that they have witnessed all of this.
Yeah.
Again, it's
How
like,
dare you?
It's like the cloister conversation. This needed to have just been theirs. This would have been so lovely if it was just theirs. This is
Yeah.
such a private, intimate moment. And fucking me is just hanging out like this tiny little goth in the corner. Fuck off. Anyway, I'm done.
No, you're good.
But
Um,
yeah, he falls on his back, doesn't he?
oh,
Oh no!
if you got the thing.
Smile for me.
Yeah.
Because she's like, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And she's like, smile for me.
I'll remember it.
I'll remember.
Shit.
Yeah, and she goes, I don't. How could I smile? And he goes, don't worry, I'll remember it. And then passes out. He's never gonna remember it. Jesus Christ! It's heartbreak. Another moment where I hate Clara.
Yeah.
Just fucking smile. Just do it.
Yeah.
Please. I was begging. I was like, please just smile for him. He needs you. He has been there for everything you've ever needed. He fucking got you Danny Pink back and all of that he's done for you. And you can't even smile?
It weirdly, I don't. This moment shouldn't be tainted by any kind of reference. There is one though, and it's just because of that. And it's so weird, but you're gonna have to bear with me. Downton Abbey.
Well, okay, I've not seen Downton Abbey.
Okay.
I won't know.
Well, I won't say any characters, but there's a moment where two individuals. There's a member of the kitchen staff and two members of the kitchen staff, except one I think is more kind of shoe polishing and stuff. And this is during the First World War citation needed, or just before. And he obviously gets conscripted in and goes off. And he comes back very badly injured, but during the initial talking before he got conscripted, there was a thing kind of going on, but not really. And he completely misread that, and she wasn't really sure about it at all. And when he came back, he asked that in his dying moments she accept his marriage proposal.
Oh, so he's dying.
Yeah, he's dying.
Right, okay.
And his dad's there by the bedside and she's there. And I can't actually remember whether or not she says it or not. But just the conflict in that moment of
God.
not feeling like you can, but doing the thing for the person that's dying because it's the last
It's
thing
the last thing that they're going to have.
they're going to have. Yeah.
God, that's brutal.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots in Downton that's brutal. One of the reasons why I stopped watching was because it got too brutal. But
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
there was a thing that happened to one of my favourite characters. I'm sorry, I'm out.
No, fair enough.
But
yeah, we then get flashes, don't we, as he's passing out?
Flashes of something?
He's looking at me. We've got flashes of Clara.
Oh, yeah.
Then interact with a flash of a guy in sunglasses
Yes.
and a cap, and then flashes back to Clara. And he's
Say,
going, doctor.
Clara. So didn't he say you'd be upset?
Yeah, he wakes up.
She was here, but now she's gone.
Yeah, because the doctor's in the middle of the desert again. There's this little guy just standing over, going, "Are you okay?"
Seems such a lovely little.
Seems a
chap.
lovely little man. Yeah, Clara mentioned you may be upset. And I was like, Clara? Who's Clara?
We're not past the heartbreak yet because there's a few more little lines that are so sad. Yeah. So.
And then we're back in the diner.
Yeah, and I think I can't remember what provokes him to say this, but I think it's
He goes, I know that her name was Clara.
Yeah.
I'm trying to piece this back together. I know her name was Clara. I know we sat in the cloisters together and she
The
told
Mummy
me
on the
something.
Orient Express.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
reference, yeah.
And I know we sat in the cloisters together and she told me something very important, but I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
And she says, it could be me.
Oh, yeah.
You never know. It could be me. If you don't remember her, it could be me. And he goes, no. One thing I know about her, if I saw her again,
I know.
I'd know what she looked like. And she handles that so well.
She does.
Because she cries, but she turns away and she gets rid of that fucking tear.
I don't know how anyone in that situation could keep themselves together. Because it would be like...
I don't know if it's similar to dealing with a loved one with Alzheimer's.
Yeah, that's
isn't it?
exactly what I drew.
Yeah.
And again, weirdly, also in Doctor Who, a perfect moment, or at least in the Whovian universe, that depicts just how brutal that is when someone you love forgets who you are.
Completely forgets who you are.
Is I can't remember the name of the Torchwood episode, but with the three who come through the plane in the rift, and the older gentleman who goes to see his son, who's now older than him, in the home, and he just
Doesn't
can't.
remember who he is.
Yeah, he's got little snippets and stuff,
Yeah.
and like talking about going to see mum and stuff, and just
Jesus Christ, it's brutal.
yeah,
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
it is.
Poor old Clara. It's just like, oh my god. And then she's like, okay, well, what about your TARDIS? Did you ever find your TARDIS? And he's like, no.
Didn't he say he went to London or something, but someone's moved it?
Someone's moved it. Yeah. He said, I tried to track it down, but it's been moved. And now I'm just travelling, trying to find it, trying to find Clara.
The Doctor does draw a memory, though, about the diner.
He's like, yeah, I'm sure we were here.
We were here,
He's
yeah.
like, we were here, I'm sure we were here. But wasn't it over the other side of the hill? And I'm sure we were here. And then he goes,
Amy and Rory.
Amy and Rory. It was Amy and Rory. And I'm like, and then she's kind of wandered off a little bit. And she's like, I'm sure you'll find your TARDIS for you. Maybe someone will find your TARDIS for you. And I'm sure she says something about stories. Oh!
Stories and songs.
Stories and songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
Because
there.
he's playing... Because beforehand he's played some of Clara's theme on the guitar. Yeah, and then he starts playing it again.
But before we get a little bit of an exit, we have a Twitter.
Oh, I love it when
It
you
was
just
so
slap this
difficult to
in.
know when to bring that in. Obviously, when we talk about Alzheimer's, we can't do that. But yes, we do have a Twitter, and you will find all the episodes on there of Never Ever Eat Pears. But also, we have a little poll up there because eventually we will get to the end of our favourite Doctor's run, and we'll need to go somewhere to cry. But after that,
A padded room.
we will hope to continue on this podcast, and it's up to you guys what direction we take out of 5 choices. So let us know. Also,
Please do.
we have a Facebook page with numerous posts about the Doctor Who universe. Get involved. What do you think about the Daleks being redesigned? What do you think about our favourite skin-wearing voice, the Slovene? And yeah, cryptids in Doctor Who. What do you think? That's
yeah.
weird because I'm talking about a post I haven't yet written.
Ooh.
Okay, so the Doctor's facing away from her. He's playing the little riff.
He's playing Clara's theme on his guitar.
She opens a door, which is then leading into the TARDIS console we saw earlier. There's some other cunt in there.
Yeah, some...
The room fades
Yeah,
around him.
just as he's playing that final bit with the whammy bar.
I didn't realise, well, I suppose it's insignificant because obviously it's so beautiful in that moment visually, but I didn't realise the TARDIS was able... Well, I suppose, no, it has happened before because in Blink, the TARDIS left Sally Spiro and weird non-trouser wearing wanker behind.
Yeah. Well, the Doctor said about it before as well, isn't he? And like Kill the Moon, he was like, hold on to the console.
Yeah.
Or the TARDIS will leave you behind. So maybe the TARDIS is aware of who it needs to take with it.
Okay. Yeah, so we've got this TARDIS flying around, and Me says that very much like the Doctor's current TARDIS, the chameleon circuit stuck,
We
and
might
it
be
may
stuck
be stuck as
in
an
a
American
diner
diner.
forever.
When I first saw this episode, that is the most ugly fucking thing I've ever seen flying around. The interior, beautiful, but as a fucking thing flying around, it looks fucking awful.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I suppose there's no way to really do that and make it look like an American diner.
Yeah, it was rubbish. But yeah, they've said, and then
we need to go back to Gallifrey.
Well, yeah, because Mee's asked her if she's got a pulse, and she's like, I still don't have a pulse. I think this is it. I am stuck.
Yeah.
We need to go back. And she's like, I'm sorry. And she's like, why is everyone so sorry about dying? I'm not frightened of dying. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
But let's go the long way around.
I don't know if there's been any big finish shit out there.
Anything about
any
it.
comics.
Yeah.
I think there's been a little bit about Me, but I don't know whether it's specifically with Clara.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe.
Yeah, they're off tootling around in their little diner.
But we get one more.
We get one last bit, and we get her theme again.
This moment, while I was watching it on the train, was fucking ruined by the signal between a certain place that I work and where I live, because the signal cut out and then was immediately replaced audibly by someone dragging their fucking suitcase and it fart noise over the fucking bit of carpet. And I'm just like, no!
Oh. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
There's that wonderful bit of music, and he's looking at the TARDIS, and it's like do 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 do. It's beautiful, and then he's seen the mural on it. He's seen Clara's face on the board. Do we think he's then realised who he's been chatting to?
Yeah, I think he's seen that there's some connection between that, but hasn't yet
figured out that that's Clara.
But surely in that moment he'd be like, this all seems so significant to something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Maybe he's just so kind of shell shocked by everything that
maybe it
just hasn't drawn that conclusion yet.
Yeah, and it's all a bit faded and tattered, so maybe it is just a bit like.
But it's gorgeous.
It's such a beautiful design.
Riggsy, man,
Riggsy fucking
outdone yourself
there. Yeah.
But we get a little bit more before the episode ends.
Yeah, we do.
We get him into the TARDIS, walk up the other side. I can't remember if he does something before we get a reveal of a little new proppy prop. I don't think. I think we get the TARDIS power back up again.
Yeah.
Possibly. Oh, yes, I do, because I've written a note. I should just look at my fucking notes.
Just look at your notes! I remembered a little thing, though, that I forgot to mention about when they were in the cloisters.
Oh, yeah.
And she asks him about his coat. Because he's in that black
coat.
Oh,
yeah.
Says,
what happened to the nice velvety coat?
I liked that one. It was very
doctor-y.
And he's like, I can't be the doctor all the time. I forgot about that.
Stop it now. Yeah. No, there is something else that happens in here, because there's been a message that's been left on the blackboard.
Oh, run, you clever boy.
And be a doctor.
And be a doctor. So he puts the doctor coat back on. It's his red velvet coat. He puts his red velvet coat back on, and everything's okay. But it's not. But it is. And it's not. And it is. And it's not.
Oh, man.
It's great. And he goes flying away.
Yeah. But we've missed something.
What have we missed?
Because a new prop turns up. Come on now.
His glasses back.
No, well, he's still got them. New Sonic!
Is that this episode?
Yeah!
I thought that was Dr. Mysterio.
No! That's this episode.
Is it?
Yeah!
Fuck yeah!
Yeah!
Hey!
New Sonic!
Yeah! Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What have I got confused with?
Because I'm guessing, in terms of timeline...
Oh, fuck that. Yeah. Shoots it out of the console, doesn't it?
Well, it kind of materializes and then gets shot out.
Beautiful.
Does an
I
R2
like
and
this
he
design a lot.
catches it on his side catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and gives it a little light up. Get beautiful blue lights. I didn't realise that it's got
design.
3 colours.
Yeah, it's got red, green, and blue.
Yeah. Very nice.
I forgot.
What?
I forgot that it popped up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And I think the episode ends with that one of my favourite shots from the top of the console with the rotating bit as it follows it around. That's so fucking nice.
It's so nice.
Yeah, and that is where... Oh, we also get a...
We do. We get a... Yeah. We get a clickety-click, click.
Um,
And then as the TARDIS fades away, all the paint flies away.
we do also get a weird fucking shot where the dying
yeah.
TARDIS and his TARDIS, whatever.
You don't need to have seen that.
Yeah. And that is the end of the episode.
And that series.
Yeah. Well,
Minus the special.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
got one quite significant.
Yeah, I've got
Christmas
a very good special. I think this is like this is my favourite Christmas special of the next two that we're tackling.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
out of the two, they both have their shit,
Absolutely.
but at least one of them has some good shit at the end.
Final ending.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Good
Can't
soup.
wait. Good soup.
Heinz Gallifreyan tomato soup. Pete, are you fucking ready?
I'm ready.
To prance and dance down the abattoir
Down the abattoir.
with your bells and your sticks, because it is time for Daft Cunt of the Week.
Oh yeah.
What do they think they're doing?
Your ham-fisted bun-bender.
He's an unimaginative plodder.
Apart from losing the master and the missile, you're doing very well, Brigadier.
I helped you devise a less idiotic plan of attack of all the idiotic suggestions.
You're an idiot.
You will bring a terrible retribution upon yourselves if you persist.
Shut up, you silly old fool!
You would dare to harm the great wizard Queequeg-Quad?
Charming. Yeah, they're round the twist, if you ask me.
Pete,
Ooh.
do you have one?
I don't know. Me. Maybe.
Yeah?
But she didn't really do anything bad.
Do you just not like their
Yeah.
bag?
Maybe Rassilon,
Oh, okay. Is it for any particular reason?
just because he's a cunt.
Oh, okay. Wasn't like it's weird, like, I am Rashalon!
I mean, he didn't.
I
need to
throw my
bell out
toys
like
out of
that,
the
did he?
pram!
He was having a little paddy,
Yeah.
but he is a dick.
Yeah.
Canonically.
Yeah, that is very on brand for
A dick.
Rashalon.
Canonically?
Canologically, I think.
It's written somewhere that he's a prat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe him,
Yeah?
but he's not really being a daft cunt. He's just being a cunt.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Okay. Do you want me to do mine and
You,
maybe?
Yeah, you do it.
Okay. So, what is it? I mean, obviously, Gallifreyans and the Dalek Empire, or whatever, have their parallels as much as they are opposing forces.
You see?
But why is it all the way down to why do you build your most disgusting or scary place in the fucking basement of your main fucking city? You got the poo Daleks in Scaro's capital fucking city, and then you got the weird Ray fucking bullshit and Daleks and Cybermen and Weeping Angels next to your fucking wine cellar.
So is your daft cunt of the week the architect?
Yeah. Or whichever
I don't
member
know.
of the council was like, yes, that sounds like
That's
a great
perfect.
idea.
Maybe it's a keep your friends close, your enemies closer kind of vibe.
Yeah, but they got technology. Just put a camera on the bastards or something. Like, come on.
Literally. You shouldn't have to go down to make sure that the cloister wraiths are okay.
They've got a lift that goes down to that. What's to say that one of those wankers isn't just going to
You go,
side saddle their
accidentally,
way in
like,
there?
yeah, slider its way in.
You're there getting some Gallifreyan milk at 3 a.m, and then a screaming fucking monolith thing comes out of the elevator at you.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I like that one.
Nah, idiots.
Perfect daft cunt of the week there.
Do you have an additional one, or are you happy with what you
I'm
got?
happy with yours.
Okay,
Let's keep
cool.
yours, eh?
Thank you so much for listening to our
Ridiculous pro.
weird, wackety show about Doctor Who and the 12th Doctor and this Rewatch podcast. We hope that you join us once again for another episode. Once again, we've got our Twitter, we've got our Facebook. They'll be linked in the show notes below.
It'll be a Christmassy vibe next.
Yes, it will. Get your Santa hat and your severed head. Which will make sense in the episode.
And your jingle bells.
Yeah, it is a real jingly bell start to that, isn't there? We get a
Yeah.
real kind of Christmas tune drop.
Yeah.
But
Antlers and everything.
yeah, but until the next time, Pete and I are blasting off into time and space.
Moisturize me, moisturize me.